We are moving on to our second speaker tonight, who is Theo Kauffeld, co-founder and co-CEO of Equalista, the first gender equality learning app. Theo and I not only share the same big mission, but also the same level of passion for it. And we're working towards the same vision from different angles and in different paths, but definitely in the same direction and definitely with the same high dedication to it. So I'm really excited what Theo has to say tonight, and please welcome her on stage. Theo, over to you.
Thank you, Dora. I was really honored when Dora asked me whether I would speak here tonight, because as she said, we share the same goal, and that is more gender equality. Dora is focusing on female founders. I focus on digital education in the topic. So two different angles, but pioneers in the field, I would say. One question that I always get when we talk about founding, but as well about life, is, does gender matter? And I think all of us would wish that gender doesn't matter and that equality would just be the case, the status quo. While most of my life I thought gender actually doesn't matter, but that hard work matters, soon working in the software industry, I had to realize that gender does matter. Now being a founder, I realized that being a founder, gender matters even more. And being in education, I take the approach that I always want to know exactly why gender matters. So often when we talk about gender, when it comes to professions and founding, we talk about the negative sides of it. We talk about that women get less funding, that when we talk about female founders in numbers, then the percentages varies a bit, but let's be generous and say like about 20% of all startups have at least one female co-founder. When we talk about female-only funded companies, that's sort of between 2 and 3%. Only 3% of venture capital worldwide goes to female-only founded companies. So that are like a lot of the problems that we're talking about when we talk about female founders. And I can add a few anecdotes of my own life. For example, I realized whenever I told someone that I'm going to found a company, maybe not 50%, but probably like 40% of the people answered, "What does your husband say to this?" So that was actually quite a shock. Now that I share that with other female founders or with people that think about founding a company, they are actually prepared for that situation. And sometimes I get a text message saying, "Theo, someone said, what does your boyfriend say to that? Or what does your husband, whatever, say to that?" So that is an example that I like to use when it's about sharing knowledge. Because the first time it happened to me, I was just really shocked. I thought like, I'm telling you, I'm actually founding a tech company, and you're asking what my husband is doing, is thinking about that because he's working in insurance. So he has no idea about tech. When you're prepared for that situation, then you actually don't take that personal anymore, because you know it's like, oh yeah, that happened to Theo as well, and it's actually real, and you can maybe smile it away because it doesn't catch you by surprise anymore. So I like to use data and information for preparation for those situations. So that's why I'm really encouraging to meet other founders, meet other female founders and share experiences, because then they don't become individual experiences that you can, or you might take personal, but they become shared experiences of female founders. So you see, it's not about you. It's like people don't wonder whether, you know, I need my husband's support, but that is a societal reaction to a woman founding a company. So for me, it actually sharing those probably kind of sad stories with each other, make it easier to digest them. So preparation is one important fact. But the question is, does gender matter? And I would really like to recommend you that you need to decide that for yourself. So you can decide that you would like to be part of this female founders group and find empowerment and support within each other. Or you can decide that actually you don't want to identify as a female founder and want to just identify as a founder, which is perfectly fine, because I think there is as well a danger in focusing on the female side of the founding, because in the end you are a founder, and being a founder is one of the hardest things that you can do. I think you have a competitive advantage in comparison to founders that are not in a mastermind group or not in the structured track, because we basically just did it on our own. And as Lou Miller said before, it could have saved us as well a lot of headache if we would have had mentoring or a support group. You're already like on the right track. But as I said, there is like opportunity and danger in focusing on the female side. Dora made the podcast for increasing role models, or for showcasing role models. And I mentioned the numbers, like when we're kind, then we have 20% co-founded, female co-founded startups. So you're kind of on your own. There aren't that many of you. So that comes as well with a lot of pressure, because basically representation matters. Like just by being a woman, you will probably become a role model for other women. People will look at you more closely. They will have different questions towards you. So it comes with pressure. And you can choose whether you want to focus on that, or you can choose to highlight another part of your identity. And that might be the educator, that might be the inventor, it might be the finance savvy person. Just because you're a female founder doesn't mean that you need to walk around focusing on that all the time. You really need to find for yourself what gives you energy. And that might be surrounding yourself with other female founders and share experiences, as it helps me. But it might be as well that you get the feeling the pressure is too high, or it discourages you. And I really want to encourage you to find your own way when it comes to gender. And I know that Dora is a very knowledgeable founder and will guide you as well in sort of finding what gives you energy. But that is basically my message to you. Does gender matter? And I want to give you, yes, from a structural perspective, it probably matters. But what matters way more is what you make of it. So you can use it for empowerment. You can use it for getting support. You can find the beauty in the female founding community, or you can choose to not go in that route. And that is as well a perfectly valuable choice. There are stereotypes of women, what they should do, and increasingly there are stereotypes of how a female founder should behave. And you don't need to go into that direction. You can really choose it. And with that many different women in the room, I think there are so many different personalities, different people, different ideas. So I think you should use that diversity in this room and find your own way together. So I wish you all the best for that. And whenever you have a gender-related question, as that is my experience and my expertise, I'm always happy to answer all questions and happy to mentoring some of you.
Thank you very much. I'm really glad you pointed out the fact that all of you here right now are already role models, and you should own that.